Today we're talking about Office 365 forensics and what are some of the challenges. So the situation, the use case, number one, you need to investigate an incident. So from the cybersecurity perspective, you need to determine who did what and when, right? Could be insider threat, external breach, or general investigation. Number two use case, ensuring compliance from an IT or compliance manager perspective, you need to show the life cycle of your documents for as long as your organization needs it. So whether that's the legal counsel or internal or external auditors. Requirements, preserve traceability of activity from directly SharePoint site or document or specifically for certain users. Keeping the audit logs for as long as your organization needs them. Some companies, especially in life sciences, need it for at least 10 years or for the lifetime of their documents, such as a study, clinical trial or study. Easy access for internal stakeholders, granting access so your site admins can see it themselves or legal users can see it themselves. So viewing your audit history directly from SharePoint. And problem? What is the problem? There is no easy, low-cost, turnkey, simple way to solve it. Obviously Purview does a lot, but it doesn't allow you to address some of those requirements we just talked about. Until now, with Audit Vault for M365, we can help you achieve industry compliance and regulations by keeping your audit logs for as long as you need to keep them, or the lifetime of your documents, and helping you achieve things like GXP compliance in life sciences, HIPAA compliance, EFI, GDPR, or other privacy concerns, SOX, and a whole list of others. Great, we're going to spend a little bit of time showing you a nice demo of Audit Vault for M365. So what Audit Vault for M365 allows you to do is eliminate compliance risk, avoid penalties, and ensure your organization is compliant with the policies, rules, and regulations like GDPR, GXP, GMP, FDA 21 CFR Part 11, HIPAA, Sarbanes-Oxley, and ISO 9001. That is preserving your audit logs for as long as you need them. Great, so I've logged into Audit Vault for M365 using my M365 credentials. So using single sign-on, I'm accessing the SharePoint online reports in Audit Vault for M365, and we have a number of different reports available for us that are built in. So the first use case I'm going to look at is I'm going to do an investigation by site collection. So I'm going to look for all the activity specifically for HR, the site collection HR. I'm going to leave the user field blank and I'm just going to search for today. Now obviously I can choose a different time period, but I'm just going to do today. I run the report, it comes back real time. I don't have to wait for a search to run. Okay, I get a nice summary of everything that's happened on that site collection for that time frame. So I can see there's been 11 file accesses, I have 10 page views, 2 files have been renamed, 3 folders have been created. Then I get a summary, a list summary of all the audit logs that pertain to that those criteria, right? So I can sort them by date, I can sort them by event, right? I can sort them by the item name, right? So within here, we get a full detail of everything that happened here, right? So if I click on this specific audit log record for this file downloaded record, we can see the full telemetry of what happened, right? Obviously, Christine downloaded this document, right? But we can see the full telemetry down to what time, right? The user, the IP address, right? Whether they did it from their Windows desktop or whether they were using a Mac, right? And even what web browser they used, right? So if I click on this document now, or that list item, we can get the full summary of everything that happened to that SharePoint list item, right? So in this case, this employee reviews SOP document, it was uploaded at 9:38 and it was downloaded at 9:46, right? And we have that full telemetry there. Okay, now let's shift gears a little bit and look at it from another perspective or another use case. And let's do it by user, right? So instead of looking at it by site, you want to get a summary of everything that Patrick has looked at or done within SharePoint. So I'm just going to specify my name here and just leave it as today's date. I'm going to run the report. It comes back real time again, a full summary of everything that's happened, right? And all the audit entries. So what have I done today in SharePoint, right? So I've accessed files, right? I've made changes to group. I've broken inheritance, right? All of that information is available, and I'm available to export it, right? So I have the ability to export it. So let's say I need to send it to another user or provide it to an auditor. I can export those details and send that that Excel file to another user. Now let's look at SharePoint. So from within SharePoint, we've added our audit history directly to your document. So let's look at this item here. So we're just going to click on the menu here, and you can see there's an audit history entry. So from here, we load up Audit Vault for M365, and we can see the audit history directly from SharePoint. So we can see the file was uploaded at 9:38, right? And from here, you get the full telemetry. So you can see, oh, Christine downloaded this file at 9:46. I don't think Christine should have access to this. So you can take that information as a site user or site owner, and you can take action on it, right? So now, secondly, let's take a look at this set of slides here, and let's see what happened on the audit history, right? In this case, it's been moved. Okay, so you see that the file has been moved. Let's click on it. Okay, so this item's been moved from another site. Now, we still preserve that full telemetry and that, the history of exactly what's happened, that legal chain of custody. And we click on it, and we can see the original record of the employee's slides existed on the finance site, but it was moved to the HR site, right? Now, those two audit record entries are linked together, right? So you can always get back to the original item before it was moved. That audit history is preserved. Okay? So now let's take a look at this folder, and let's see what happened here. Let's take a look at that audit history. Again, you can see that audit history, everything that's happened, right? You can see the folder was created at 10:25 a.m. and we can see the secure link was created, right? And it looks like in this case, this was shared out to Patrick at ecminsights.com, right? So we get that full telemetry, the who, the what, the where, the when, and the how, right, of what happened directly from within SharePoint. Let's look at Exchange Forensics. So obviously, we have a bunch of built-in reports like, what are the items deleted in the last 30 days, who created certain mailboxes in the last 30 days, who deleted mailboxes. Let's look at all activity for a specific user. In this case, let's look at all activity for me in the last day, right? We get a nice real-time summary report of, my activity for today, which was, 7 items accessed, 4 emails sent, 2 events were created in my calendar, and I deleted 3 items. Let's take a look at the deleted items. Okay, we can see this message, welcome to Audit Vault, was deleted by me today, right? I would have the full telemetry when I click on it of everything that's happened, right? Likewise, when I created this meeting placeholder, right, it was done at 9:57 a.m. Let's look at Entra ID Forensics. So from this screen here, we have a number of built-in reports. We can see things like failed logins, successful logins, and more importantly, things like group and user activity, right? So if someone added someone to an AD group or removed someone from an AD group, you see that all from here, right? Obviously, you also have access to user reports where you can say, get me all activity by a specific user, right? Or by a specific IP address, right? Let's actually take a look at this failed logins as our example here. And let's click on our failed login. So we can see from this screen here, I had a failed login today well, not today, a couple days ago, 8:26. There was a failed login, and the IP address is captured, the device of the failed login is captured. Again, I get the full telemetry of everything that's happened for that audit entry. Likewise, we can see other users here, like Montgomery Scott also had a failed login attempt, their IP address, and their browser, they were using Chrome, right? So you get all that information right at your fingertip. Finally, let's look at Teams forensics. So let's look at all activity by myself again for today, and we're going to run in the report. Comes back real time. We can see I started a Teams session at 10:36, right? I reacted to a message that was part of the Phoenix Test 2 team under the channel product managers channel, right? I reacted to another message under the SAW Phoenix Social Club under the general channel, and I sent a message to the dev team under the feature request channel. So all that information is captured from a Teams perspective as an example, right? Then let's look at all activity for a specific team. So I'm going to run it for dev team just for today, and we can see there was the message I sent earlier, right? And we would have the full telemetry preserving the legal chain of custody of what happened in Microsoft Teams. Now let's turn our attention to Insight Search. So all of the previous reports we can run real time. The search is meant to bring together all of the results from multiple workloads and summarize it in one place. Okay? So with a search, you can give it a name, right? You can specify a time period for the search, right? You can provide specific keywords you're looking for, specific sites that you want to pull back from. Let's say you want to pull back only for finance, right? The specific users you're looking for, the workloads you're looking at, or specific activities, say whether a SharePoint file was accessed or whether a retention label was changed on a file. Okay, all of that information is available from the search interface. Now I've gone ahead and I've already done a search, and let's actually take a look at those results. So I did a search for everything for myself for today. We see there's 90 results. I'm going to view the results here, and we can see in a nice summary, right? We get a nice summary. It brings it all together, right? Everything that I've done for today. Right? Now you can extrapolate and you can use it for, say you have a case where you need to look at all activity for a specific user for a specific time frame. This is where you would want to use the search, right? And we have everything pulled together. We have 56 results in SharePoint, right? We have 16 results in Exchange. It's all summarized here, right? Entra ID, there was 14 items for today, and Teams, there were 4 items. So we get a nice summary, and we can export those items. So we just saw a demo of Office 365 Forensics in SharePoint Online. You have the ability to view your audit history directly from within SharePoint via our solution. You can report on things like activity by site, by user, page views, deletions, and activity by IP address. In Exchange, you could look at activity by email deletions, creation, calendar events, email accesses. Entra ID enables you to see things like login failures, successes, MFA activity, group additions and group deletions. In Teams, you can see what messages were sent. You can see team and channels activity. You can see team meeting attendees. And then finally, with Insight Search, it allows you to do a search to aggregate the results by user, by keyword, or specific activity criteria. Okay, so what are some of the benefits of using Audit Vault for M365? Long-term audit log preservation. Preserve your logs indefinitely beyond the default 180-day or 1-year limit of Microsoft. Obviously, prevent non-compliance, ensuring the traceability and data integrity of the lifetime of your documents. Stay compliant with regulations like FDA, Annex 11, GXP, HIPAA, and EFI. Avoid costly penalties. Complete audit trail visibility. Track all activities, the who, what, where, when, and the how. In SharePoint and M365, ensure full transparency. Direct access to audit history. Access your audit history directly from SharePoint. Simplify audits and compliance checks. Reduce your license costs. Get unlimited retention and traceability for a fraction of what Microsoft offers. Simplified auditing and reporting. Easily access your audit history. Streamline auditing and reporting. Effortless deployment. Get set up in under 5 minutes with no code required and hassle-free. And then finally, maintain regulatory compliance with a turnkey integration with minimal manual effort. Boom! Please click like our video below or click subscribe on our channel. Sign up now for a free trial at auditvault365.com or mosey on over to our website at ecminsights.com. Thanks.